The story begins with a sniper named Driss, hiding silently in a forest, camouflaged among the trees. She's been waiting for days, focused and patient, ready to carry out an assassination. Finally, her target arrives by private jet. Driss doesn't hesitate. She steadies her rifle, takes a deep breath, and fires from a long distance. A perfect shot. The mission is a success. Meanwhile, in another part of the world, we meet Levi, a retired sniper who hasn't worked in 4 years. He now lives a quiet life, waking up at dawn to sit by the sea and write poetry in a small notebook. He's lonely, with no one to share his words with. Suddenly, Levi receives a call from a U.S. military base in Beirut. He's summoned back. There, a high-ranking officer named Barso explains that they need someone of his elite skill. Though the army had declared him unfit for duty years ago, she believes this mission might suit him. It requires long isolation, with no human interaction. She knows he has no family, no attachments, and hints that this mission might give him purpose again. At the same time, Driss visits her father at her mother's grave in Lithuania. She confesses her guilt about her last mission. Her father reassures her her target was a war criminal. He then reveals he's dying and encourages her to accept her next assignment, but to make it her last. Live a peaceful life, he tells her. December. Levi boards a military plane, destination unknown. He jumps by parachute into a dense, foggy forest. He finds Jasper, the man he's replacing. Jasper has been there a full year, completely alone. His mission? Guard the western tower of a mysterious place called the Gorge. Jasper tells him that on the eastern side, there's a Russian sniper doing the same job. The two are not allowed to communicate. Their job isn't to stop people from entering the gorge, it's to prevent whatever is inside the gorge from escaping. Levi is skeptical, until Jasper tells him the chilling history. After World War II, entire battalions, over 2,400 soldiers, were sent into the gorge. None of them ever came back. Since then, the U.S. and Russia agreed to contain the place. They believe strange creatures called gorge beasts live inside. Nobody knows if they are aliens, mutants, or something else. The gorge is surrounded by mines and sensors. If anything escapes or the sensors fail, everything inside will be destroyed instantly. Jasper hands over control of the western tower and leaves, happy to be free. But before he can return home, he's shot dead. We learn Barso ordered his execution to keep the gorge's secret safe. Now alone, Levi adapts to life in the tower. Every 30 days, he inspects the sensors and defense systems. One day, he finds writings carved into the wall, messages left by past soldiers. One quote from 1947 reads, "Only those who cross boundaries discover the strength within." Across the gorge, he spots someone through his binoculars. It's Driss, guarding the eastern tower. They're not allowed to talk, but they start communicating through written signs. On her birthday, Driss lights a candle and sends Levi a signal. He replies with a birthday message, and soon they begin forming a connection. They write to each other every day, sharing bits of who they are. Then one night, something happens. They hear strange growls echoing from the gorge. Creatures are climbing the cliffs. Levi fires his rifle. Driss uses her machine gun. They manage to stop them, but it's clear the beasts are real. Days later, Levi sees Driss crying in her tower. She holds a photo of her father. Levi checks on her with a sign. She writes that she wishes he were beside her. Levi is torn. He looks at the wall again, the quote about crossing boundaries. He makes a decision. He ties a rope and fires a hook across the gorge. Driss sees it and rushes to secure it. Levi writes, "Dinner tonight?" She smiles. He crosses over using a pulley, bringing flowers. They finally meet in person, face to face. They eat together. They talk about their lives. Levi tells her about his nightmares and why he left the military. Driss tells him her father warned her, too much truth brings sorrow. But Levi believes hiding the truth is what causes the most pain. Later, they dance to music under the stars. Levi tells her he wrote a poem for her, but she can only read it when their mission ends. The next morning, Levi returns to his tower, but as he slides on the pulley rope,
It snaps and he falls into the gorge.
Levi crashes through the trees and lands unconscious. Strange spider-like creatures crawl toward him. Suddenly, he wakes up, shoots the creatures, and drops to the ground, injured and disoriented. As he struggles to move, a terrifying shape below him starts shifting the rocks, like something alive is waiting beneath.
The creature wraps its long, sharp limbs around him. Levi is trapped, but at the last second, Driss appears. She fires at the monster and rescues him. The two now realize they're both trapped inside the gorge. They move together through the valley, unsure what lies ahead. Their only hope is to reach the eastern cliff wall and climb out. But the place is worse than they imagine.
Suddenly, monstrous riders on horseback, half human, half beast, charge at them. Levi and Driss fire back. It's a brutal battle, but they survive. Then, something horrifying. One of the fallen creatures is wearing a military uniform. A U.S. soldier's uniform.
That's when it hits them. These beasts are the missing soldiers from the 1940s, the ones who never returned. Levi and Driss continue deeper into the gorge. They pass through a twisted forest where tree trunks resemble skeletal remains. Eventually, they find an abandoned church. Inside are rows of soldiers' corpses sitting in pews, each with a vial of cyanide in their hand. These men chose death rather than face whatever horror lived down here. They press on and reach a fortress built into the cliff. They cautiously enter. Inside, Levi finds an old film reel labeled "For Forgiveness." They play it. On screen, a woman, a scientist, appears. The footage is from 1946. She explains that during World War II, there was a secret alliance between the U.S. and Soviet forces. Their goal? To develop a biochemical superweapon inside the gorge before the Nazis could build the atomic bomb. But something went horribly wrong. A massive earthquake hit. Deadly chemicals leaked. Radiation spread. Everyone inside the lab was exposed. Their bodies changed, twisted. They mutated into the very beasts that now roam the gorge. The military covered it up. Levi then finds a modern computer terminal. To his shock, the U.S. Army is still conducting research and monitoring what's happening in the gorge. They haven't destroyed it because they want to perfect the mutation to create super soldiers. The defense systems, sensors, and landmines are not just for protection. They're programmed to obliterate the gorge if anyone escapes, or if the truth risks being revealed. Levi is furious. It's all a military conspiracy. He tells Driss they have to get out now, before they're transformed too. But just then, Driss is caught in a trap. A gorge beast drags her through the forest. She wakes up suspended in a strange nest. The beast prepares to kill her. She fights back, lighting a wooden spike on fire. Just before it strikes, Levi arrives and shoots the monster dead. He examines the creature's uniform. The name tag says, Captain Bradford, the same soldier who wrote the poetic line on the wall back in 1947. They find a hidden storage room with a military jeep. They hotwire it and speed off toward the gorge's edge, but the beasts follow. They cling to the rope Levi had once used to cross. Driss drives while Levi defends. He throws a flare, setting fire to the monsters climbing up. They cut the rope, sending the creatures falling back into the darkness. Finally, they reach the towers and tend to their injuries. Now they wait. They've both been exposed to the gorge's radiation. If they survive 5 days without symptoms, they'll be safe. Levi tells her, "Now I know why they picked me. I had no one who'd miss me. But now I do," he says. "You." Driss smiles through her pain. "When we're clear, let's disappear. I know a place in France. We can live there, peacefully." But first, they must wait 5 days, and then destroy the gorge forever. Levi prepares to return to his tower. Before he leaves, he looks at Driss and says 3 simple words, "I love you." He slides across the rope one last time and contacts Barso.
She demands an explanation. Levi lies. He says, "I had to. The sensors gave a false alarm."
But Barceau isn't convinced. She realizes something. Dries must have gone into the gorge too. Now both of them are a threat. She issues a direct order. Eliminate the sniper in the eastern tower. Levi pretends to agree. But while she thinks everything is under control, Barceau secretly sends a strike team. Her orders? Kill Levi and Dris, erase all evidence. Meanwhile, Levi and Dris continue talking through signs. Suddenly they hear it. Helicopters, drones. Barceau's team has arrived. Levi yells across to Dris, "Run!" The forest explodes with gunfire. Drones swoop through the trees. Dris runs. Levi does the same. They are being hunted. They must act quickly. Levi decides they have to destroy the gorge now. He stops, takes aim, and fires at the sensor towers. Each shot triggers an alarm. Dris does the same. The alarm blares. A countdown begins. 1 minute until detonation. Barceau hears the sirens. She panics. "Evacuate now!" She and her team rush to their helicopter. Levi and Dris run as fast as they can. They dodge bullets, avoid collapsing trees. Levi gets hit but keeps moving. Just as the ground starts to rumble, Levi throws one last flare, and the gorge erupts behind them. Boom! A massive explosion tears through the valley. Even Barceau's helicopter doesn't escape. Levi is flung into the air, crashing into a river. Dris turns back, horrified. She fears the worst. 5 days later, Dris sits alone in a cabin in France. She checks herself. No signs of mutation. She's safe. Then she finds a note Levi had hidden. "Open this at sunset, only if I don't return." She waits until sunset, then opens it. It's the poem Levi had written for her. As she reads, tears fill her eyes. But then something happens. She looks up. A man is sitting outside her restaurant, writing in a notebook. It's Levi. She runs to him. "You're late," she says. "I had to take care of things," he replies. She tells him, "I've got a job for you. Wash dishes, but only if you write me a new poem." They smile. They made it. The war is over, and the movie will end